it's Alex Vanover. Welcome back to my craft room. In this video, I'm going to show you how to apply rhinestones to acrylic blanks so you can make amazing sparkly keychains just like this one. So let's jump into it. So the first step to rhinestoning an acrylic blank is of course to get all of your vinyl cut files ready and all of that good stuff. So in this tutorial, I'm going to be using this really cute ice cream that I got from Third Degree Laser, and I will show you guys more about their group in just a second, but I just want to show you guys how stinking cute the different options for their cut files are. They have cut files that come with every single acrylic blank that you download, and we're going to be using this one for the rhinestone pattern, and I'm so excited to show you guys how this is going to look. So anyway, this is the file that I'm going to be using, and I will put an affiliate link to Third Degree Laser down in the description below in case you want to try the same file. So once you purchase it and you have it in your hands, next I'm going to show you how to get the file and how to get it sized and all that good stuff. So the next thing you need to do is join the Third Degree Laser blank group on Facebook, because that's where they keep all of their cut file sizes and all of their cut file documents. So once you join this group, which I will also link in the description for you guys, under the announcements, there's just one announcement post and it has everything in this post that you need. So first you can open up the Dropbox link to all of their current cut files, and then they're all in order. So as soon as this loads, we're gonna go down and grab the ice cream one. Oh, I'm sorry, we skipped a step here. Then we need to go into keychains, and then we'll go down to ice cream. And like I said, they're in alphabetical order, so you just need to remember what your cut file was called, and then they're super easy to find. And you'll download them all in one fell swoop, so all of the options for the cut files will all be in the same download. So we'll see if this makes it any faster for us as it loads. There it is. So ice cream blank, you'll just click that, and then of course it's a Dropbox, so I'm gonna direct download it. And there's no need to extract or anything. Now it's in my downloads. So next I'm going to go into Cricut Design Space, of course, and then click upload. And we're going to go into our downloads and import this file. So we'll bring everything in just like this and insert it into our canvas. So next we're going to get rid of all of the pieces of this design that we are not using. So I'm going to begin by ungrouping and drawing a box around all the stuff I want to select, and then clicking delete or backspace and get rid of all the extra cut files. And then as you can see, we've got this one cut file, but it's a little bit big. So next I'm going to show you guys how they have all their sizing. So if you go back into their Facebook group, there is a separate Google document that has the sizes of all that you need to make all the cut files. So I usually use Command F, and that's the find function for those of you who are not familiar. And you can type in what you're looking for. So we'll type in ice cream, and it comes right up, and it tells you exactly what size the blank is in case you want to make a piece of vinyl that covers the whole thing. But we're going to use the suggested cut file size, which is right here. And typically if you leave it locked proportionately, when you put in one of these dimensions, the other one is pretty much automatic. So that's just a little pro tip that makes things a little bit easier. So we're going to go in and make our height 2.91 inches high. And then once we do that, they recommended a 1.39 width, and that's close enough to 1.39 that I think we're going to leave it just the way that it is. So next we're going to ungroup it, and I'm going to change these to the different colors of vinyl that I'm using. A huge pro tip that I have for you guys is whenever you're working with rhinestones, you want to try to get your vinyl as close in color as you can to the rhinestones, because it really just makes the colors play off of each other and pop really well. So I'm going to be using kind of a silvery one here at the top. So I'm going to change this color to white actually, because I think that's going to look the best. This orange one in the middle is actually technically going to be Old Gold StarCraft HD, but it kind of looks like orange. So we're going to keep it like that. And then our bottom color is going to be pink. So I'm going to change this. And then I'm going to make my stick the color beige in StarCraft HD. So I'm just going to pick another shade to make it. But I'm actually going to be putting gold rhinestones over top of it. So it's not exactly going to be perfect, as you guys will see, but it's going to be pretty darn close. So next I'm going to save my project just in case I need to go back to it. And I'll just call it ice cream blank. And then once it's saved, we'll go ahead and go to the make it screen. And everything is all set on the different mats. So next we will continue. And as soon as our machine connects, like I said, I'm using permanent vinyl, which the brand is StarCraft HD. So I'm just going to cut everything on the vinyl setting. So I'm going to cut all of these shapes out, and I'll meet you guys over at my craft table to show you how to put it all together. So before we get started into the rhinestoning, let's talk about some of the materials that you're going to need to make applying the rhinestones a little bit easier. The obvious ones, of course, would be the acrylic blank, the vinyl to match your rhinestones, and of course the rhinestones that you're going to use. But you're going to need a few other tools to help you as well. You're also going to need a rhinestone tool like this. And the reason this is so helpful is because it helps easily pick up the rhinestones with this side and place the rhinestones onto the acrylic using the precision tip on this side. And I will go ahead and link everything that I'm using down for you guys in the description. All my bling and the rhinestones that Auntie Tay calls bling are all from shopauntietay.com, so I'll link these in the description as well, but all the rest of this is from Amazon. So this is the rhinestone tool. And then my favorite adhesive for rhinestones is Liquid Fusion, which is like a really heavy duty glue, but it's a little bit easier to work with than E6000 in my opinion. And another thing that makes it a lot easier is working with one of these precision needle tip bottles. And this just allows a little bit of glue to come out at a time so that you're not dealing with a big mess on a little tiny acrylic. So before we get started applying the rhinestones, first we need to go ahead and prep our acrylic. So the first step to doing that is to remove the paper covering, or sometimes it's plastic, on just one side of the acrylic. We'll go ahead and leave the other side covered in case anything bleeds over to the other side. And then of course we're going to weed each of our vinyl pieces and then apply them to our acrylic blank. All right, and then we'll just use a piece of transfer tape to apply those super evenly. And we'll only have to apply them on one side because anytime that you're using regular permanent vinyl, it is actually colored on both sides. So that's one nice thing about not using something like glitter vinyl, is you don't have to put the vinyl on both sides of the acrylic. So we'll just lay each of our pieces here onto our transfer tape. This is clear medium tack transfer tape from 143 vinyl. And if you guys have ever seen my videos, you know it's my absolute favorite. So in the materials, I'll link this for you guys in the description as well, because I don't think there's anything better. Next, we'll use a squeegee to just make sure that everything is well burnished onto the transfer tape. Oh gosh, what am I doing? So next we're gonna cut each of the pieces apart and start applying them to our acrylic blank. So we'll start with the white piece at the top. And we're just gonna get it as close as we can. Luckily, when we add the rhinestones over top, it'll be kind of hard to see the rest of the acrylic, so even if it's not perfect, no worries. Next, we'll apply the orange stripe in the middle, leaving just a little bit of space in between each of the vinyl pieces. And last, we'll add the pink at the bottom. I'm using matte StarCraft HD vinyl, but technically since you're going to cover it with rhinestones anyway, it really doesn't matter what finish of vinyl that you use. Then we'll add the stick part on. And so as far as rhinestones go, it really doesn't matter what order you apply the rhinestones in on your design, but I do just recommend only squirting out a little bit of glue with each section because it doesn't have very long before it dries. So I would say you maybe have 10 or 15 minutes. And so I just like to do small pieces of my design at a time. That way I don't run into any dry glue issues. So for the top white section, I'm going to be using the Rhinestones Enchanted. They're kind of like a silvery neutral color. So I thought that white would make the rhinestones pop the best. So I'm just going to use my rhinestone tool here, and I like to shake out a fair number of rhinestones just onto the table and have them already flipped over and ready to pick up before I even get started. Another piece of advice that I have for you is whenever you are doing rhinestones, I always think it looks better when you use a mix of sizes if you can, just because I think it adds a little bit more visual interest to the piece and it just lets the light hit it from different angles and look really, really pretty. So I'll just start by adding a little bit of glue here in the corner. Like that. And then I just use that needle tip to kind of spread it around the area that I want to start applying my stones. And I'm only going to start with about that first third of it because like I said, it does dry fast. And because this glue dries fast, you do need to make sure to put the silicone top back over the needle whenever you're not putting glue actively on your acrylic, because you can get clogs in this needle nose tip. But if you do, I just use a little pin and I stick it down in through the top and pull it back out. And that usually takes care of any clogs for me, but it is still a pain. So I try to remember to put that silicone cover over top of the cap. I've also found that it makes my rhinestone work a little bit neater if I start by outlining the design that I'm trying to add rhinestones onto. It just helps me almost create like a little bit of a border around the project, and that way I don't push the rhinestones too far outside the lines. I try to pack the rhinestones in there as tightly as I can, but as you guys can see, there's still a fair number of gaps in between all of the stones, and that's why I think the vinyl just does a really good job of filling in the color and kind of making it look a little bit neater. All right, and then once, of course, all your glue is covered, you just add more and continue following the process. And then, of course, I'll just use the smallest stones to surround the hole for the top for the keychain hardware. Oh, that one doesn't want to come off there. And then if you notice a stone that's being a little bit stubborn, that's when I use the precision tip side of my rhinestone tool and just kind of push it into the place with the glue, just to make sure that it's really well stuck down. And that's our first section all finished. So it doesn't take super long time to dry, but of course before you use it, you want to make sure that the glue is fully set. So I would say before you actually put keychain hardware and stuff like that, I would wait at least an hour for the glue to dry, but it'll be mostly dry here in just a few minutes. But while that top section is drying, I'm gonna go ahead and move on and go down the keychain and finish the rest of it. But something else to note is that rhinestones are a little bit like glitter in that if they start to make a mess, they are impossible to clean up. So that's why I always work with just one color at a time, because there's just no way you're separating these colors back out. So I'm absolutely obsessed with this color Enchanted. I think it's so beautiful. And honestly, one reason why I love using these Auntie Tay Bling over just like regular rhinestones is because I think they're just a lot higher quality. I've ordered them from places like Amazon before, and they're just not quite as colorful in the light and stuff like that. So I think it's definitely worth the investment to get a little bit nicer rhinestones for your rhinestone projects. So next, for the orange section, we're gonna be using Oliver Mix, which is like an orange rhinestone. That's why I picked orange vinyl. But in fact, this is actually old gold vinyl, but compared to the white and the pink vinyl, I thought it looked orange enough to go with Oliver. And here's our second section covered with rhinestones. I just love how sparkly this thing is. It is turning out so pretty. So I'm sure you guys can see a big difference between the pink and the others, and that's because these pink stones are the color 16th birthday, but they're all one size, whereas the Oliver and the Enchanted are both mixed sizes. So it does make a big difference in the way that it looks ultimately, whether you mix the sides of the stones or you just do all the same size. It still looks pretty and super sparkly, it's just kind of a different look. So now we're gonna finish up with some gold rhinestones on the handle, and we'll be all finished with our rhinestones. All right, and the last color that I'm gonna be using on the handle is Floating Lanterns, which is one of the gold rhinestones that Auntie Tay carries. And you guys, it is gorgeous. You are gonna love how this looks. And there we have it, y'all, a completely blinged out ice cream keychain. So as soon as the top part is dry, I will add the keychain hardware and show y'all the final result. If you decide to put rhinestones on acrylic blank keychains or make anything else from my tutorials and you end up sharing that craft on Instagram, please use the hashtag DIYAlex because I love seeing what you guys are making and learning about. And if you've made it this far in the video, then I really want to get to know you on social media. So please search for me at DIYAlexVanover on pretty much all major social platforms. I'll also put direct links down in the description below, so it's super easy to find. If If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more just like it, then be sure to subscribe to the DIY Alex YouTube channel and be sure to ring the bell so that you get notified every single time that I put out a new video every single week. But don't wait for next week's video. Be sure to check out this one next. Or if you want to make your DIY dreams come true, be sure to check out this video. I know that you're going to love it.